What's going on, everyone? Welcome on in to the 3 and 2 Falcons Today YouTube channel. Matthew Peterson here talking about whether or not Atlanta should go all in after a thrilling comeback victory on Thursday Night Football against the rival Buccaneers. Now, before we look at a potential Davante Adams trade or a Haason Reddick trade, I just want to spend a few minutes recapping last night because we all got a great night's sleep. We can kind of reset a little bit, and I want to look at this win with a little bit more of a tempered emotions following a very climactic victory. So, a couple of key takeaways I had. One, Kirk Cousins on Primetime. Just before we started filming, I was watching Colin Cowherd, who was interviewing Kirk, and he asked him, what has changed for you from Primetime, from your early stages to where you are now in your career? And Kirk pretty much pointed to two things. One, early on, he was young in his career, so he was making some mistakes. Two, they were playing some really tough opponents when they, as a team, were probably just a 500 ball club going up against some defending Super Bowl champions and division champs. But there's no denying that Kirk Cousins has dramatically improved under the bright lights of prime time. I mean, just go look from 2022 to present day. He is 4-3 in Monday night, Sunday night, and Thursday night football games, 17 touchdowns, 321 yards per game. Compare that to 2020 to 2021 with the Vikings, 174 yards per game, just 10 touchdowns, and a 3-4 record. So give credit to Kirk. He has completely flipped a switch when the lights get switched on him for prime time, and he is a huge reason, if not the biggest reason, why Atlanta pulled off comeback victories in Philly and home against the Bucs. Second takeaway I have, just a nightmare matchup for opponents. I'm not quite sure how you stop the Atlanta Falcons offense when it gets rolling. What do you want to do? You want to take away Drake London? By all means, good luck. But if you do that, you're still going to get beat by Darnell Mooney or Kyle Pitts. You can make an argument that Darnell Mooney might be this team's best receiver based on the explosive plays he makes at stretches, right? Drake London is good for a 12-yard reception that turns into a 20-yard grab. Kyle Pitts had a resurgence last night, 80 yards on 8 receptions for him. So pick your poison. And that's not even looking at Robinson and Algier, who, despite having a slow night last night, this team put up 36 points, 30 points in regulation. Honestly, it is truly a nightmare matchup for opposing defensive coordinators because no matter how you attack this offense, they've got guys in every single spot that can make you pay. Also, all three phases came through last night. The defense was awful in the first half. 24 points in the first 30 minutes is unacceptable. You're almost giving up a point a minute. But in the second half, they slowed down Baker. They gave up just 6 points, a pair of field goals. And at the end, when players had to make plays and the stars had to come through, they did. Starting on defense, Jesse Bates, forced fumble with a little under 4 minutes to go. Then you got Younghoe Koo giving us free football, a 52-yarder to put the game in overtime. And then when Drake London gets banged up in the overtime, Kadarius Hodge off the bench, 45-yard house call, and the Falcons came through on defense, special teams, and offense. I mean, truly a team that is in perfect rhythm at the end of the game when you need it most. That's what championship teams do. I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but that's what the Chiefs do, is it not? They always seem to find a way at the end because the defense makes a stop, the offense gets themselves in a good position, and Harrison Butker makes the kick. That's what we're seeing right now from Atlanta. This is the identity and the DNA of a playoff winning team. Fourth key takeaway, the Bucs blew that game. There are a lot of talking heads right now discussing last night's game, but one moment of the game that paved the way for Atlanta even having a crack at it was Davante David's interception, which might sound strange, but stick with me for a second. On 4th and 16, if Davante David just bats down that football, it's 1st and 10 Buccaneers at the Atlanta 20-yard line with a little under 3 minutes to go, or under 2 minutes to go. But instead, he intercepts it, returns it to the Falcons 28. And what do you know? They end up going backwards, negative plays and holding, and they end up having to settle for a punt from the Falcons' 42, 43-yard line. Imagine if they had those 8 extra yards. They're not at the Falcons' 42, and they're not faced with a 60-yard field goal attempt. Instead, they have 8 extra yards because, let's say, everything else goes the same, but they start at the Falcons' 20. Now they're looking at 51-yard field goal. Chase McLaughlin, their kicker, was perfect that day. He made 2 from beyond 50. And now the Falcons are down 6 with no timeouts left, needing a touchdown instead of a field goal. So that's not even getting to Bucky Irving's fumble. But yeah, the Bucs, they pissed that game away. So before we get to some of the trade rumors out there, I want this video to be a record-breaking video after yet an euphoric Falcons victory. I want to beat the number of subscribers we've ever gotten on a video this month at 253. I want to beat the likes we've gotten in the last month at 988. I want to beat the comments we've gotten in the last month at 470. So if you are ready for more wins and to keep the good times rolling, hit the sub button, sub for dubs. Show me a big thumbs up for that win last night and drop an ATL in the comment section. So let's switch gears and talk about going all in for a trade with the Raiders for Davante Adams or the Jets for Haason Reddick. Because sitting at 3-2 and with the NFL trade deadline a month away, November 5th, you better believe trades are creeping into Terry Fontenot's head, and we're going to plant some seeds for him if not. But first, I want to tell everyone watching about our wonderful friends over at Game Time. If you are thinking about going to a Falcons game or any other sporting event in your area, Game Time has an awesome feature called Game Time Picks that filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. I use Game Time for college football. I went to a Tennessee-Oklahoma game 2 weeks ago. I'm going back to Knoxville in a week for Tennessee-Florida. And with Game Time, you can get the best deals at the last minute. So if you're going to Athens to catch a UGA game, check out Game Time. They're going to have great deals for you. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHAT Sports for $20 off. I put all that information in the comments and description of today's video. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. Let's begin by talking about Davante Adams specifically, and then we'll get to Haason Reddick because there have been a lot of trade developments and rumors over the last couple of days. And the Falcons have not been listed by name just yet. But as we often see with trades, it's a very fluid situation. So maybe the Falcons aren't in right off the bat, right off the jump with Davante Adams. But maybe they are in after they beat the Bucs and go 3-2 on the season to open up the year where they have 4 out of their first 5 games against teams that were in the playoffs last year. And they feel like, you know what? This is a group that can really go the distance. And a little bit of an extra push from an all-pro like Adams might be the thing that gets us to New Orleans. And I'm not talking New Orleans regular season. I'm talking New Orleans in the postseason where Super Bowl, whatever it is, host is this year. So, yeah, Davante Adams should definitely be someone that is at least considered for the Falcons. Like, do they desperately need a wide receiver? No, of course not. Like, Drake London and Darnell Mooney can get the job done. But when you've got an all-pro like Adams on the market, and you have a team that you feel like is in a spot where they can go out and really win right now, there should be conversations had. That's all I'm advocating for. This should be a topic of conversation. We should at least sit down and discuss the possibility of Adams coming to Atlanta. So, for me, I'm happy with London, Mooney, and Pitts. So if they don't pull the trigger on a trade, okay, so be it. But still, I would like to at least kick the can down the road a little. I mean, just entertain me for a second here and discuss the possibility of Adams coming to Atlanta. I mean, think about what that offense could look like. You've got Adams, London, and Mooney at wide receiver. Listen, this defense may not stop a nosebleed, but it won't have to if the offense is averaging 35 points a game. So, for me, Adams, I wouldn't say is at the absolute top of my wish list of terms of like must-haves in the trade market, but it'd be tempting, would it not? It'd be exciting. you get an offense with this much firepower on it, good luck slowing them down. Seriously, you'll need it. Now, my preferred trade target, Haason Reddick. This one, I think, fulfills a real need for the Falcons, whereas the other one, it feels like a little bit like a dessert, right? You're full, offense is good. Do you need Adams? No. But do you like creme brulee? Yeah. And when the dessert menu comes out and the waitress has that, enticing offer, you say sure. But Reddick is an actual entree that is needed for this defense right now. So some background on the former Eagle and now kind of Jet, I suppose. If you don't know, he has been MIA since he got traded to the New York Jets. He held out for all of mandatory minicamp, all of training camp, and into the regular season. He has accumulated about $10 million in fines. He is absolutely dug in on getting either an extension or some type of change to the final year of his contract, which he is somewhat wiping down or flushing down the toilet because all of it is going to the New York Jets, who fine him $800,000 every single game that he misses. So if the Jets clearly want to accept that this trade has bottomed out and it is not going to work for them, I could see the Falcons going, let us take this headache off of your hands because we sure could use a pass rusher. And I'm sure you had a good plan for Reddick initially, but clearly this is something that's not going to get resolved. I feel like Reddick and the Jets are past the point of no return. I don't see a way where this ends with Reddick coming on the field at MetLife Stadium. Unless he's playing in the opposing locker room, Reddick is not playing for the Jets in my opinion. I don't see a way they salvage this. It's October. Neither side looks like they're going to move or budge at all. What motivation do the Jets really have? They're just making money off of this guy. He is an absolute cash cow for them. $800,000 every single Sunday. For Reddick, listen, I understand that you have a short window in the NFL to make a lot of money and you want to make every single year count, and he was underpaid for how valuable he was for the Eagles the last couple of years, one of the best pass rushers in football in the last 4 seasons. But giving up $10 million is certainly a choice, not one that I would make. But regardless, that's for them to worry about. Here's what the Falcons have to worry about. Their pass rush stinks out loud. Boys and girls, they have played 5 games. They have played more than anyone else other than the Bucs. And despite that, they are still dead last in sacks. Give the Falcons an extra game and they'll still finish 32nd in sacks. When Sunday is over and all the other teams, for the most part, except for ones on the bye, have played their 5th game, Atlanta will go from 24 in pressures to probably 30th. They're 31st in pressure percentage, which means every single time the quarterback drops back to throw a pass, how often do the Falcons either get a hurry, a hit, or a sack? 14% of the time. I mean, just think about that for a second, right? Let's say a quarterback drops back to throw it 30 times in a game, 30 pass attempts. What are we looking at here? 4 times that they actually have just pressure, not a sack. Just, mind me. It's the worst in the NFL. It's 31st. Bottom 2. It's unbelievable. So, here is a trade idea that I've seen somewhat tossed out there that I've kind of put my own spin on. Falcons get Haason Reddick. Jets get Davante Adams and a 4th-round pick from the Falcons for Reddick. Keep in mind the Jets gave up a 3rd-round pick, so it's a loss, but at least you're getting something out of this compared to right now, which is a flat-out nothing. And the Raiders get a 2nd and a 5th from New York for Davante Adams. So let me know what you guys think about that trade. If there was one guy I would like to trade for, I think Reddick would really fulfill a big team need for the Falcons. But Davante Adams is sexy and enticing. And it's hard not to get excited about the idea of Adams, London, and Mooney all on the same offense. I mean, that really feels like an offense that we could look back on in years and go, oh yeah, never forget that Falcons 2024-2025 run where they just got overloaded on offense and just blew everyone out. To me, it's somewhat reminiscent in a way of when Raheem Morris won the Super Bowl with the Rams. And the Rams had a really good team. They had Aaron Donald. But what did they do at the trade deadline? They went out and got Von Miller. Had a good pass rush. Why did they need Von Miller? Because why the fuck not? Falcons need a wide receiver? No, but why not? If they feel like this is their greatest window, and they want to give up some future assets, I'm not going to say no. Do I think it's necessary? No. But in the words of, what's his face, who died in dodgeball, is it necessary that I drink my own urine? No. But I do because I like the taste of it. Either player is good for me. All right. The big question, though, when it comes to Reddick is, what about that contract? Because you don't want to make a trade for Reddick and find yourself in the same spot the Jets find themselves right now in, which is you don't have the framework of some sort of contract alleviation to get him off the field or get him on the field and off of his couch. So hopefully if a trade with Reddick does happen, there is an immediate plan in place for his contract situation, and he doesn't just continue his holdout in Atlanta compared to the Jets. But between these two players, which one would you rather trade for? Like the quiet answer is yes. Either one would be great with me. Again, I don't want to be a broken record. Reddick definitely fulfills a need for you, but Adams is the overall better player. So have at it. All right, everyone. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy a stress-free football weekend following this Falcons win. Sit back, watch Red Zone on Sunday, watch everyone else lose, and enjoy your win.